Listen to a story about Sally.
Sally enjoys playing sports, especially soccer. She often plays soccer with friends at the park. Last Saturday, she joined a soccer match with her friends at the school. Sally has been playing soccer for fun since she was 8 years old. But this was her first time playing on a school team. There were 2 teams, each with 6 players. Before the game, Sally was excited but also a little nervous. During the match, she played as a defender, trying to stop the other team from scoring. In the second half, the game was tied, and everyone was working hard. Then, Sally made a strong pass to one of her teammates, who scored the winning goal. Everyone on Sally's team cheered and gave high fives. After the match, Sally's coach told her she did a great job. She felt proud of herself and happy that she could help her team win. They all went to get ice cream to celebrate. Sally couldn't wait to tell her parents about the match and how well she played.
Hi, I'm Kevin. When I was 8, my parents took me to a sports center to learn how to play badminton. I believed it was good for my health, but I didn't find it interesting. At the age of 16, my friends told me about extreme sports that they played. I tried some with them and felt so good. I finally found my favorite sport. It is skateboarding. At first, my parents were not happy with that, and they didn't support me in learning skateboarding. They thought it was too dangerous. My best friend Sam had an extra skateboard, so he let me borrow it. When I started, I fell down a lot, but I didn't give up. I practiced every day, and soon I was skateboarding well. Now, I am a member of a skateboarding club at the community center. My parents also have a more positive view of this sport. I hope I can take part in the national skateboarding competition next year.
Listen to a story about Sarah's family.
Sunday mornings were a special treat in Sarah's family, and pancakes were the star of the show. One sunny Sunday, they decided to add a twist to their tradition, a pancake flipping contest. The excitement was noticeable as each family member took their turn flipping pancakes in the air. They tried to get the prize, a full day of TV use. Even Sarah's little brother, Jake, eagerly joined in. When it was finally Jake's turn, he held the pancake high and gave it an enthusiastic flip. To everyone's surprise, the pancake soared a bit too high and stuck to the ceiling like glue. Laughter erupted as they tried to figure out how to retrieve the pancake. "Dad, can you reach it?" Sarah asked, laughing. Dad, who was quite tall, attempted to reach the pancake, but it seemed impossible. After a few funny attempts, they finally managed to take the pancake off the ceiling. However, just as they did, it took an unexpected dive, straight onto Dad's face. The room was full of laughter when Dad looked around with surprise. "I guess I caught the flying pancake," he joked.
Listen to a story about Anna.
The doctor examined Anna's leg. Anna tried not to cry, but it was a challenge. Her leg really ached. "How did you hurt yourself?" asked the doctor. "I jumped off a swing," said Anna. "Is it broken?" "It sure is," said the doctor, holding out the X-ray. "See right here?" 2 hours later, Anna left the hospital on crutches. Her leg was in a cast. "What will I tell Ms. White?" she asked her mother in the car. Ms. White was Anna's dance teacher. The spring dance performance was only 2 weeks away. Anna's cast would be on for at least 6 weeks. "She's going to be so mad at me," groaned Anna. But Ms. White wasn't mad. She said, "We'll think of something." Anna felt ridiculous going on stage with her crutches. "I look stupid," she complained. "I can't dance with these." "Have you ever heard the expression, 'the show must go on,'" said Ms. White. Together, they went through the show. They thought of how Anna could move to the music. They brainstormed ways for her to dance on crutches. The night of the performance, Ms. White almost had to push Anna on the stage. Anna's cast looked big and clumsy, but she went out and danced. At the end, the audience went wild clapping. Someone tossed a bouquet of roses at Anna's feet. The show did go on.
There are some old cities in Turkey. Some of the cities are over 2,000 years old. No one lives in these cities today, but people still visit them. Why do people want to see them? The cities are under the ground. The cities had kitchens. They had meeting rooms. They had places to store cereal. They had stables. They even had air vents or chimneys. The air vents made it so it was safe to breathe more than 100 feet under the ground. They kept fresh air flowing through the rooms. The cities had locking stones. The stones could only be opened or closed from the inside. The locking stones were used to keep the people safe inside the cities.
Squirrels are exciting. In the summer, they run around right after the sun comes up. In the afternoon, the squirrels go back to their nests. They take naps. 2 hours before the sun. Squirrels are exciting. In the summer, they run around right after the sun comes up. In the afternoon, the squirrels go back to their nests. They take naps. 2 hours before the sun goes down, they get up and run around again. When it is dark outside at night, they stay inside their nests. Squirrels are busiest of all in the wintertime. They run fast. They make turns in the air. Squirrels jump from tree branch to tree branch. They run all morning until lunch. After lunch, they go back to their nests to rest again. When the weather is bad, they do not leave their nests. However, they do not hibernate or sleep all winter. Squirrels have eyes on the top of their heads. These eyes help them to see objects without having to turn their heads. These eyes are difficult too. They make it hard for the squirrel when it is eating. The squirrel's eyes are busy watching for enemies or danger. They do not pay attention to what they are eating because they are so busy watching for danger. Male squirrels keep themselves very clean. The male squirrel cleans himself more times than the female squirrel. He keeps cleaning himself all day long. Be careful when you play in the park. Squirrels are beautiful to watch, but they are not safe to touch. If you try and feed one from your hand, you could get bitten. Enjoy them from a distance.
Before the invention of the postage stamp, it was difficult to send a letter to another country. The sender paid for the letter to travel in his or her own country. Then the person in the other country paid for that part of the trip. If a letter crossed several countries, the problem was worse. Rowland Hill, a British teacher, had the idea of a postage stamp with glue on the back. The British Post Office made the first stamps in 1840. They were the penny black and the twopence blue. A person bought a stamp and put in on a letter. The post office delivered the letter. When people received letters, they didn't have to pay anything. The letters were prepaid. Postage stamps became popular in Great Britain immediately. Other countries started making their own postage stamps very quickly. There were still problems with international mail. Some countries did not want to accept any letters with stamps from another country. Finally, in 1874, a German organized the Universal Postal System. Each country in the UPS agreed to accept letters with prepaid postage from the other members. Today, the offices of the UPS are in Switzerland. Almost every country in the world is a member of this organization. It takes care of any international mail problems. Today, post offices in every country sell beautiful stamps. Collecting stamps is one of the popular hobbies in the world, and every stamp collector knows about the penny black and the twopence blue. Before the invention of the postage stamp, it was difficult to send a letter.
The U.S.A. is big. It has 50 states. The smallest state is Rhode Island. Rhode Island was the 13th state. It became a state in 1790. It is on the East Coast. 36 islands are part of the state. It is easy to get to its capital. You can drive to it. You can fly to it. The largest state is Alaska. Alaska was the 49th state. It became a state in 1959. Alaska is on the West Coast. It is not close to the other states. It is apart. It has many islands. It is not easy to get to its capital. You cannot drive to it. You can fly to it. You can sail to it. Alaska is very big. How many Rhode Islands can fit inside Alaska? Almost 500 Rhode Islands can fit inside.
The Yanomami people live near the Amazon River in Venezuela and Brazil. They live in the tropical forest far away from other people. There are now perhaps 27,000 Yanomami in this area. Before outsiders first visited them, they knew nothing about other people in South America, about the government, or about modern life. They did not know that they lived in Brazil or Venezuela. They lived in their own world. The Yanomami are hunters and farmers. They hunt over a large area. They grow their own crops and medicine in large gardens. The Yanomami are also deeply religious. For them, the natural world and the spiritual world are one. In the 1980s, miners found gold on Yanomami land. Soon, thousands of miners, loggers, and cattle farmers were using the land. The noise from the outsiders' machines and airplanes frightened the Yanomami. The mining companies polluted the water in the rivers. The loggers cut down the forests. The outsiders also brought new diseases to the area. In just 7 years, 20% of the Yanomami people died. In 1992, Brazil and Venezuela made the Yanomami land into a park. No one can mine for gold or cut trees on this land. The government said that the land was for the Yanomami people, not for the miners and loggers. Unfortunately, it was difficult to keep the miners and loggers out of the Yanomami land. In 1993, some gold miners tried to destroy a Yanomami village, and they killed 16 people. Today, the Yanomami are working to protect their land and traditions. They have their own school. They are recording their language and history. They also want to study and learn good ways to use their land. They do not want to live without trees and clean water. They say they want progress, but without destruction.